We're rolling. Okay.
I've been a troublemaker, I've been a late-night player, I've been broke as a joke, I've been a money maker, I've been a record breaker, taking credit as an educator, I've been known to spit the flows and make it shaky, shaky thing, popping, lock and stop and let it hang. Watch us as we drop this hip-hop, it's like it stings. We make a whole room drop and everybody sing. We want the funk, we gotta have that funk. We kick it old school, we think we're so cool. We take it back to the past, we gonna act a fool. Enough jumps, the middle finger make my yay.
Hello, and welcome to Sports Buzz, a Fanatical View. I am your host, Scott D. Lewis, here live in studio, Comcast Cable Channel 23, downtown Danbury, Connecticut, on this July 28th, sweltering hot, humid day, late July. The dog days of summer are officially on us. It's been pretty much a heat wave the last 3 weeks. Couple of nicer days the last couple days, actually. It was hot, but no humidity today. The humidity is back. Maybe we get a little rain.
Yes, we could use a little.
We had the big storms the other day, which was nice, but we need more rain. Did you know? I don't know that everybody knows this, but at least in Bethel, there is a voluntary water restriction in place. So if you're out there and you're about to go water your garden, you might want to think twice. My vegetables are suffering, but it's, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I think
Conserve water.
it's down in Bridgeport, they're like -6.
Yeah, when it's amazing too, because in the spring, if you drove by the reservoir, the water level was maybe at the highest point I had ever seen it.
Yeah.
It was like super high, and it just dried out super fast. You remember in the spring all the brush fires that were happening. We talked about that. So it dried out quick, and it's pretty much stayed dry. This weekend they're calling for rain though, so which could do havoc to the Westerners in the final.
Yes, it could. It might have pushed
weekend
us back
of
a little
baseball, where they're trying to figure out if they're going to make the playoffs or not. And there we see the schedule at Plymouth, but home on Saturday. At New Bedford Sunday, home on Monday. So hopefully the rain doesn't mess things up. They can play those final 4 games and get themselves into the playoffs. They are in the playoffs as we speak right now.
Yes.
We will see. But let's hold on a second on those pictures. We're jumping the gun. We are here live until 7 o'clock. And a programming note. This is the last show of the summer, as a matter of fact. Well, not quite the summer. We'll be back in September. But August, we are off for the whole month of August.
We're taking a nice dog days of summer off.
Yes, we are. And we will be out of here. The one thing I forgot to mention, Bob, in the 200th episode, as we relived the memories. Remember my old, my friend from Colorado, Bill.
Yes.
After the show, we called him Silent Bill because he came and sat in on a show one week when he was here visiting, and he basically sat next to me and didn't say 2 words for the whole show until the last 2 minutes where he had something to say about the U.S. Open tennis match that he saw, and I gave him 2 minutes and was like, all right, that's it, you're done, after he didn't say anything. But I'm going out to Colorado, do some work, do some hanging out, and we will be off for August. We apologize to all our numerous fans out there.
Some Rocky games while you're out there?
I don't know. I hope to take in some Colorado State football. Oh, what was that?
Something popped.
The show just exploded. Connor is on audio. Strange Man said Connor was going to be taking care of the audio properly, and they were going to be watching him. They just blew the speakers up in the studio. And then it sounded like Strange Man making some noise over the speaker. You got to wonder sometimes what's going on in the control room.
What goes on behind the scenes, right?
No shows in August? We're going on strike, baby!
As Strange Man blows up the show.
Well, you want to officially welcome me for tonight, or
let's say hello to my right-hand man, Mr. Bob Rod Jr.
Yeah. Hi, Scott.
How you doing there?
I'm good. I'm back after my 2 weeks ahead hiatus.
Yeah, we missed. What happened, Bob?
Oh, I
thought you were going to call in last week.
Well, we had a little bit of a problem down at the park.
Speaking of which, phone number is 203-792-4101. We're here until 7. Call in. It is the last chance to talk to us till September.
Yeah, we had some
And
scary
there's
activities going on down there last week.
the family-friendly atmosphere down at the park, and there's a break-in in the car.
Yeah.
And Bob was distracted by that, so he couldn't even call the show, which is worse, the break-in or the fact that you couldn't call the show?
I couldn't call the show, so.
We're taking a nice look at your new member of your family.
Rex,
Rex the Wonder Dog.
Yes.
I
He
like
is a cross of a pit and he has a little bit of a pit and and mostly he is a lab, you know.
Okay.
But he's very good nature. He's a beautiful animal. He's
nice.
He was a rescue from down in Georgia.
Oh, came
He's
from
2 years
Georgia.
old.
Looks like a good pup. I asked Connor, who is here tonight, how the dog's treating him, and all he did was like yell, "Oh my God," or something like that. What did Connor say in there? He was very excited nonetheless.
Oh yeah.
About the new dog and,
Yes.
His addition to your family. So that's good. You brought the dog down to the field. Seen any baseball or no?
No, I haven't brought him down to the field yet. Still getting him broken into everything. Actually, we took him to one of the Bethel concerts the other night, and he loved it.
Very good.
He was
He's a
very
music
well
fan.
behaved, and you know.
Right on. All right, Bob's Show Spotlight on Tuesday nights at 9, Wednesdays at 12. My director, Mike Toohey, is in there. His show, Expose Cinema, Friday nights at 9, Wednesdays at 1. A lot of convention stuff lately. Republican convention. I'm sure we'll be doing something on the Democratic convention this week. Last week we gave you a 30-minute distraction away from the week-long TV show that was the Republican convention. Maybe this week we'll give you a little distraction. Not as much chaos surrounding the Democratic convention. It seems to be more civil and more of what we expect from a convention than what we saw last week. But I went on a tirade last week. We'll skip that this week. We won't get into that. All right, and Connor is here. We haven't seen Connor in a little bit, so nice to see him. And Strange Man, who we heard blowing up the speakers.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Strange Man is here.
Jenna's a little under the weather, so hopefully she'll be
No
feeling
Jenna
better.
jokes, but we do have Strange. Not quite stats, more trivia this week. So let's, since the phone lines are open, we're going to ask the trivia question real quick to get this show rolling. 203-792-4101 is the number. You had to be happy to see your man Mike Piazza go into the Hall of Fame this weekend.
Yes, and Mr. Griffey as well.
And Griffey as well. 2 players in the Hall with Mets jerseys. Mike Piazza is one of them. Trivia question, who else? You got until 7 o'clock to get the call in if you want.
Is.
We'll give you the answer at the end of the show if we don't hear from anybody. And you handed me a piece of paper right before the show. What is happening?
This is, they're having this on Saturday morning from 9 to 12. It's a
this
clinic.
is the Saturday morning thing.
Yes, the clinic. This is all the players who were supposedly to show up.
John Doherty, the Red Sox, and also with the Tigers, Angel Echevarria from the Cubs in 2002, and the Brewers, Glenn Boardman from the Twins, and the White Sox, he was like 70s, early 80s, Dave Fleming, Mariners and Royals, mid-90s, John Lamb, a Reds to present, a present player.
Yes.
Fred Cambria, Pirates, he was in the 70s. Oresto Marrero from the Expos and the Dodgers in the 90s. Billy Sample, a Rangers player, late 70s, 80s. Also the Yankees in 1985 and Braves in 86. So you got some decent players there. I remember John Doherty quite well.
Yeah.
So that's good. They'll be at the clinic Saturday morning. Hopefully the rain holds off
at
for
the
that.
Westerners Field.
And hopefully the weather
will
is okay.
cooperate.
Yeah, maybe not so hot. Maybe cool off a little bit. And it's a clinic for kids to come down. And what's
First 300 kids get a free T-shirt.
All right.
So.
How about that? All right, let's get into the Westerners action because it is tight right now as we head into the final weekend of the series. They are standing at 19-21, half a game up on the New Bedford Bay Sox, who are at 18-21, and a half down on Ocean State Waves at 19-20. Both those teams play today, and the Westerners are off, so the uneven number with games played will be over after today, and they'll be even. So maybe both those teams lose today.
It'd be great.
And that would be good for the Westerners.
Yes.
Plymouth Pilgrims, you got to watch out for as well, because they're
Yes.
one game out at 18 and 22. So the 4 teams fighting for the 2 playoff spots, the final 2 playoff spots, the 3rd and 4th
Right.
seed, are all within a game or a half
We
a
have
game of each other.
Connor's got something to give you.
What do we have?
What do you have?
People just handed me paper. You want to show your face,
Come on,
Connor, real
Connor, you
quick?
can show your face.
I don't.
Come
You
on,
don't
say
have to.
hello.
The Danbury Westerners play in August. I love the Danbury Westerners. Okay. Nice shirt. All right. Connor has made his way onto the show. So they, let's see, they won last night. Big win over Ocean
yes.
State, who they're right behind. 4-3. They had a decent, they split the 2 games on the road. 10-6 loss in Newport, but they had the big 10-4 win at Mystic, who they finished the season with. The Mystic is in first place at 24-14. They won their last 2 games in that homestand, 9-8, which was a thrilling game against New Bedford, and that was a really important game we talked about on Thursday.
Was just
that was the walk-off win.
Yeah.
I know the guys, I was listening to part of that game on the radio. The guys in the booth must have been thrilled at that walk-off.
Oh, they will.
And 14-4 over Keene. So this weekend at Plymouth Friday, home for Plymouth Saturday. Those 2 games are huge. At New Bedford Sunday, and then they finish with the first place Mystic team on Monday. Mystic's got it all wrapped up.
Yeah. And then
so maybe that helps them.
Playoffs will start on Wednesday.
On Wednesday. Hopefully, with the weather and the rain calling for this weekend, things don't get messed up. And hopefully the Westerners come out in one of those 2 spots, the 3rd and 4th seed. They'll take either one, just get in and see what they can do.
Home game, which, it would be nice if we were in the 1st or 2nd seed to get,
Right, they're too far out of reach to get those 2 teams, so they'll have to settle for either a 3rd or 4th seed, but they're right there for either one of those 2 spots. So, and they right now, as we mentioned, they are in the playoffs. So get down there this weekend, support them. The team has shown a lot of grit. They're really a feisty bunch. They score runs. They got decent pitching. And they're just a fun team to go watch. So
it's the first time in 3 years we've been in the hunt.
Yeah, they really, after that great playoff run they had in 2010 and 2011 and 2012, things really bottomed out the last few years. But they are back with the new coach.
Yes.
Young guy, fiery.
Yep.
Brought some energy to the team, and they've responded. So hopefully they get a finish this weekend with some wins. It'd be nice if they took 2 against Plymouth.
That would be great.
Knock them out of the picture, and then you got to just settle business with New Bedford and just try to get a win in that final game against Mystic.
Yes.
Somehow or some way, they got to get into the playoffs.
Oh, yes.
All right, speaking of trying to get into the playoffs, Bob, your Mets got some issues.
Yeah, we have a bunch of issues.
Lost today, afternoon game, Rockies 2-1. They had the bases loaded. Were nobody out or something like that. A rally they needed big time to try to win this game. They couldn't even score a run in that situation. They lose 2-1. More of the same. The Mets can't score runs. One of the worst teams in the league with runners in scoring position. They're just not getting it done. And then to add insult to injury, their closer, who had that incredible streak dating back to last year, July 30th, Familia, 52 saves in a row. I mean, you can't fault him. He was going to blow one somewhere along the line, but he blew that one in the rubber match against the Cardinals, so they couldn't take that series as he blew that game last night.
Yes,
and then they follow that up with the loss to the Rockies this afternoon, 2-1. Again, the bases loaded situation, nobody coming up with the clutch hit.
Nope.
And they fall to 3rd place, 53-48. And this was after they took that series against the Marlins. They went 2 out of 3 down there in Florida, in Miami, and that was a good thing for them.
And I don't see any trades on the horizon.
Well, that's what I was thinking on the way in. They don't have, and there we see Cespedes right there. We don't have a trade looming like they had last year.
No, there's nobody to trade for.
Who are they going to go get?
I mean, yeah, it would be
nice.
Are
they
they
going to try to bring in another former Met? Maybe the Yankees will deal him Carlos Beltran.
Oh yeah, Mister, I can't get that bat off my shoulder.
Oh, Bob still remembers the NLCS against the Cardinals.
Yes.
I still say that was the fastest
Game.
fastest at bat in a big spot I ever saw in my life.
Oh yeah.
He struck him out before the fans could even get excited.
Oh yeah.
The fans were like, got that nervous energy going into that final bat, 2 outs, runner on, trying to rally, and they never had a chance to make noise to get on the pitcher. Before they knew it, he was out.
Oh yeah.
And he never even swung the bat.
We used to call him the statue.
Oh. Ouch. So I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And there we see the home run derby king right there launched a big, huge bomb in that series against Miami, Giancarlo Stanton. But, what are they going to do to generate offense?
I do not know. I really don't.
They really got themselves a problem because Miami is ahead of them now in that wild card at 55-46. The Mets now 6 games out of first place of the Nationals at 53-48. You got around the rest of the National League. Cubs at 16-40, back with the best record in baseball. They're only 5-5 in their last 10. They still are not playing well. Other teams have come back down to earth, though. That's been the biggest thing. Is the Giants have gone 2-8 in their last 10 games, so they have fallen behind the Cubs at 59-42. But in that Central Division with the Cubs, you got St. Louis at 54-74. So they're ahead now of your Mets. And Miami, we mentioned, we're ahead of them. Pirates behind you at 52-48. Dodgers at 57-45 ahead of your Mets. So now you got a few teams ahead of you for that wild card spot, Bob.
I know. Well, hopefully we can rally something in August. That's all I can say.
Maybe. We'll see what happens at the trade deadline. Maybe they can get something. I do want to mention, interesting with the managerial changes, Donnie Baseball out of the Dodgers, right?
Right.
He's down in Miami. They're playing good baseball. So maybe Donnie Baseball really has proven himself to be a pretty good manager. The Dodgers did win a bunch of division titles. I think he's, set the record for 3 consecutive, right?
Yes.
Division titles out there in the West under his helm. They didn't do well in the postseason, which is his undoing and why he got let go. But here we see him doing well with the Marlins, and they're playing good baseball. But the other thing, the Dodgers had a little bit of a slow start, and they're dealing with that huge injury to their ace pitcher there. But how about the new manager there? Yankee fans will remember this name. One Dave Roberts doing a nice job out there at Dodgers. Dave Roberts of the epic all-time stolen base that led to the comeback, reversed the curse for the Red Sox against the Yankees in that ALCS in 2004. But he's doing a nice job with what he's got going on for the Dodgers. So I thought that was kind of interesting what's happening there. But the Nationals playing well at 59-42, but they have closer concerns as former Red Sox Jonathan Papelbon blowing up lately, and they can't really trust him. And they wanted to make the trade with the Yankees that the Cubs made.
Right.
How about that? The Cubs going out and getting Aldana Chapman from the Yankees. And if you think that really affects the Yankees, I don't think it does. Because you don't need 3 back-end guys. They still got Miller and Betances. They're 2 back-end guys. So the Yankees can still play and continue to try to get themselves in the playoff race. They have played better since the All-Star break. The numbers work in your favor if you want them to.
Right.
At one point, people were saying, no, they were like 8-2, but really they went 6-4 on that homestand.
Right.
That's not that great. If you break it down and you add the first games to it, how great of a run? They're 7-4 in their last 11. Are they really playing that fantastic? No. I don't know that they are, but they are keeping themselves maybe from being sellers completely at the trade deadline at 52-49. Still in 4th place, however, in the AL. The Red Sox, Bob, last week we were here, they were back in 1st place. This week,
I gave you some new artwork to put on.
Yeah, we liked that. And there we see Bethel native Matt Barnes, who we're going to have to get into his stats one of these days, but he's
doing very well.
And they use him quite a bit. They are going to him often, especially with some of the injuries lately in the bullpen with Kimbrel and Koji and Tozawa being hurt. And Barnes has really stepped up and pitched extremely well. So hats off to the Bethel native for doing a good job and settling into a major relief pitching role for the Red Sox. But they are at 55-44. All right. Usually we rely on Statman for stats, but sometimes we got to go get our own.
Oh, okay. What
Let's
we
remind
got?
people of the trivia question, though. The number's still open, 203-792-4101. Mike Piazza, one of two members of the Mets. Do you know the answer, Bob? You don't say it. Do you know it?
I'm pretty sure I know it.
All right, but if anybody out there wants to call with the answer, who is the other Mets player wearing a Mets jersey in the Hall of Fame? We have a catcher. What position, maybe? Could be a pitcher. Could be, Bob, as Bob makes the throwing motion of a pitcher off camera. All right, here's some stats for you, Bob. So we know all about the Red Sox and their high-powered offense, right?
What was that?
Here's some numbers for you, Bob. 21 and 23 in games decided by 1 or 2 runs, so they're not winning the close games. 8 and 30 when they score 4 runs or fewer, so they're not winning the low-scoring games either.
Right.
Pitchers are not stepping up when they need them when the offense doesn't go well. 3 and 36 when they trail after 7. So is that offense a little bit of a front-running offense? They jump out in front. They do well. They score a whole bunch of runs. They got a bunch of 10-run games, double-digit run games. But if they don't get out early, can they come from behind? 2 and 36 after 8 when they trail. Only 2 walk-off wins on the season, Bob.
Yeah.
Tied for the fewest in baseball with the Tampa Bay Rays. Crazy. And then this is a really crazy stat because this could be trouble. How about this for their final? You know I always like to get on the schedule makers, right?
Yes.
You want to guess how many of the final 63 games they play on the road?
I'll say 30.
Higher, Bob.
40.
41.
Wow.
Of their final 63 games are on the road.
So wow.
They are 21 and 19 on the road. So they do have a winning record on the road, but you know, as the season has gone on, there's been times where I was like, why are they coming back home? Hey, can you guys figure something out in the control room there?
That will be brutal, Scotty.
Why is this happening on the show tonight? Strange Man is just going.
Strange Man is going off the wall.
Holy cow!
How much of that is West Coast?
Well, they got an 11-game road trip right now on the West Coast. They're in Anaheim tonight, and they play 43 games in the next 44 days. As Connor's trying to sneak back into the show. I think it is the last show of the summer, but I mean, seriously.
Oh, here, and as the train goes through.
Orioles at 58 and 42, Toronto at 57 and 45 in the Central Division. Actually 57 and 45. Yeah. So Toronto has played 3 more games than the Red Sox.
You lost control. Okay.
Yeah, we have lost control.
5 minutes. Okay.
Indians at 57 and 42. Detroit at 54 and 48. They're trying to catch up to the Indians, who struggled a little bit after the All-Star break.
Started out great, and then all of a sudden they just like
Houston. They are 2.5 behind Texas, who also has struggled. So a bunch of teams, the Giants, the Indians, and Texas struggled lately, and the other teams are catching them. Seattle remains over 500, so we got to mention them at 51 and 49. All right, some other things that have taken place. PGA Championship underway today in New Jersey. Jimmy Walker, Dynamite, is at the top at -5.
This is really good to go.
It's true. I'm like Jimmy Walker. I'm out of sight. Dynamite. Jason Day, Ricky Fowler, Henrik Stenson off the British Open at -2. Phil +1. Jordan Spieth just can't get it together at +1. Rory at +4. He can't get it together either. And the PGA Championship is happening early this year because of the Olympics coming up later. The Tour de France wrapped up this weekend with Chris Froome winning the 3rd of the last 4 years and back-to-back. All right, I'm just going to read this quote from Chris Froome because I thought it was well said when he won it, especially in light of what just took place in Nice. This tour has taken place against the backdrop of the terrible events in Nice. Of course, these events put sport into perspective, but they also show why the values of sport are so important to free society. We all love the Tour de France because it's unpredictable, but we love it more for what stays the same. The passion of the fans for every nation, the beauty of the French countryside, and the bonds of friendship created through sport. These things will never change. thanks for your kindness in these difficult times. Viva la Tour, viva la France. Very well said by Chris Froome. And, you know, it's true. It is amazing. After those events that took place, the fans didn't sway, never wavered one bit. They were out there in full force supporting the riders as they did go through that beautiful countryside. And then he got to ride into Paris.
We got any soccer?
Soccer, Red Bulls beat NYFC 4-1 this past weekend. Big matchup that was. Pulls the Red Bulls within 2 points of first place. FC has been kind of the surprise team this year. They've been in first place for a while. My Revolution are in 6th, 26 points, so they are creeping up as well, playing a little bit better lately. And we also know August 2nd, they are in the semifinal of the Lamar Hunt Open Cup. A couple other things. Boxing, Danbury native Delvin Rodriguez had a big fight, went back into the ring. It's been over a year since he's been in the ring. He's been doing a lot of television. You can see him on, I believe, ESPN doing a lot of analysis for boxing events, so good for him. But he did get back in the ring and won a 12-round decision. Nice win for him. It was a punch. It was a slugfest. Did a good job. How about football, Bob? Training camp underway.
Right.
And Jet fans can finally breathe a sigh of relief. Maybe, I guess. I don't know why it took so long for them to get Fitzmagic back. But Ryan Fitzpatrick signed the 1-year, $12 million deal that was sitting on the table. I don't know what he was holding out for. I mean, what did he think he was going to get?
Oh, he thought he was going to get more and more money
I mean, come on, give me a break. They didn't make the playoffs last year, right?
No.
And he threw those interceptions in the Bills game, the game they had to win to make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Against your dog's namesake, Rex Ryan? So they do get him back. He signed last night. He's in camp, ready to go. We will be signing off for the month. Strange Man is disappointed about that.
Yeah.
But you can tune into Westerners Roundup,
which is right before us.
Right before us. You can see maybe the Westerners will be in the playoffs. We'll be sorry that we're going to miss. Why do you guys
go Red Sox?
Stop yelling into the speakers, please. Don't turn that up so loud in future references. I mean, come on, it's blowing up the speaker in the studio. Not the way we want to go out.
So.
Who is the trivia answer, Bob? You want to give it?
Tom Seaver.
Tom Terrific Seaver, the only other Met previously to be wearing a Met jersey, but Mike Piazza goes in with the Met jersey. We're out of here, Bob.
Wait, bye. Well, we'll see you in
September. Football season will be on, and we'll be back. Take care.
Have a good summer.